Workplace communication. Awkward, elegant. The reason I say awkward is because sometimes communicating with others is weird and does not feel natural. And I believe that it should feel natural to communicate with your coworkers. The first thing I want to address is email etiquette. For me, this is a big part of my communications that I do with my coworkers. And unfortunately, I have gotten into this habit of using way too many exclamation marks. As you can see on the right, the simplest things get exclamation marks, even though they do not need them. And I am not excited. The reason for this is because I don't want to use periods. Because somewhere along the line, periods got associated with a stigma that is negative. But in fact, they are just a normal punctuation mark and can be used as such to end a sentence that is not exciting or a question. This week, we watched 2 TED Talks by Julian Treasure about how to speak and how to listen. The first one was titled, How to Speak So People Want to Listen. And while there is no one way to do this, he does suggest a few ideas, from tone to what you speak about. As you can see here, there are 7 deadly sins Julian Treasure claims of speaking, including gossip, judging, negativity, complaining, excuses, exaggeration, or the confusion of facts with opinions. Gossip, judging, negativity, excuses, and exaggeration are all pretty straightforward. Complaining, though, has this extra element Julian Treasure referred to as viral misery. When one person complains, it opens a gateway for other people to complain too. For example, if I'm at work and I say, my feet hurt, someone else might respond, I'm so tired, and that's viral. Complaining is contagious. And on the bottom of the list, we have the confusion of facts and opinions when someone is dead set on saying something and is actually confused about it being a fact or an opinion. We can improve our silly dens of speaking with the 4 powerful foundations for speaking or hail. Julian Treasure starts by explaining how hail actually can mean to greet or receive enthusiastically. And he claims that H stands for honesty, A for authenticity, I for integrity, and L for love. We can adapt these to our deadly spins. For example, with honesty, we can get rid of the gossip and the judging. So rather than talking about someone behind their back or judging them for something they did, we can be honest with them. We can be straight and clear to get our point across. Authenticity can relate to the confusion of facts and opinions, exaggeration, or excuses, because we are standing for our own truth, and we're not letting these 3 things affect what we know is true. As for integrity and love, well, let's take a look at these 7 deadly sins. If we are using integrity and love, are we going to do any of these things? Probably not. So they relate to. His second video was about 5 ways to listen better. 5 areas where we can 5 ways we can improve our listening are by practicing silence, mixing, savoring, listening positions, and rasa. Silence. If you practice being quiet, you can actively listen. Mixing is when you're sitting in a crowded space or outside and you try and listen to all the different sounds you can hear. Savoring is when you're really taking in a piece of information. And there's different listening positions as well. You could have your head slumped down on the desk, you might not have your back straight, but if you sit up straight and put your chin up, you might be able to listen better. RASA stands for Receive, Appreciate, Summarize, Ask, and that's just a good way to go about any information you were given to orally. So, the problem with these things is that most people don't do that because they believe that they have the right answer without having to listen to anybody else. So instead of listening actively and trying to make themselves better, they just do not listen. Julian Treasure closes the second video with this idea of live to listen. And he claims that if you live to listen, your life will improve greatly. As for me, I do a lot of the meaningless gossip, judging, complaining, and it definitely can bring down a workplace and is not an opportune area to prosper professionally. Of course, I'm not sure if I started or if someone else starts it because I think all of these things are pretty viral. And as for how to improve, well, I could follow what Julian says and use it in my day to day life.